You. I've seen you. Let me see your face. You are the one from my dreams.
It's real, it's here, and it's just as janky as it was 19 years ago. Welcome to the new and improved The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion Remastered. When Oblivion first launched in 2006, it redefined open-world RPGs. It became a cultural landmark, a game that millions still remember for its sprawling world, endless freedom, and yes, that wonderfully awkward dialogue and character animations.
Your money or your life. You're smarter than you look. Take it. It's worthless to me anyway.
Now, almost 2 decades later, we get to experience it again.
Your money or your life. You're smarter than you look. Take it. It's worthless to me anyway.
Rebuilt in Unreal Engine 5, a new coat of paint, new mechanics, but the same old heart. If you're a fan of classic RPGs, you'll most likely enjoy this remaster. It's essentially the original Oblivion at its core, just modernized enough to meet today's expectations. Combat still feels a little stiff at times, but honestly, that's part of the charm. It reminds you that underneath all the new tech, this is still a game designed almost 20 years ago. And you know what? That's okay. It's refreshing to see a remaster that respects its origins instead of trying to completely reinvent itself. Personally, I rolled a mage for my playthrough, and let me tell you, the flexibility compared to Skyrim's magic system is just insane. The variety in spells, customization, and the sheer creativity in how you can approach combat or problem solving is miles ahead of what the later Elder Scrolls games offered. They've also added some much needed updates, like a sprint function and a reworked leveling system that blends the best parts of Skyrim's streamlined progression with Oblivion's old school skill development. Culturally, Oblivion wasn't just another RPG, it shaped an entire generation of players. From the
Stop right there, criminal scum!
to the way it inspired countless open world games that came after, Oblivion's DNA is still everywhere in gaming today. It introduced concepts we take for granted now: radiant AI, fully voiced NPCs, and massive living worlds where you could lose yourself for hundreds of hours. And even though it was rough around the edges, sometimes hilariously so, the roughness became part of its identity and honestly, part of its magic. Switching to Unreal Engine 5 brings a ton of technical improvements. Lighting, shadows, textures, and environments have been massively overhauled. Cities like Skingrad and the Imperial City feel more alive and immersive than ever before. Characters though, well, they look better, but there's still that classic Oblivion awkwardness that somehow survived the upgrade.
Any luck finding Jaskar? Found him, did you? Well, I suppose that's good. You'll have to forgive me. I seem to have misplaced something.
Animations can be stiff, and faces sometimes slide through expressions in weird ways. And honestly, that's kind of perfect. Because if you polished Oblivion too much, it would lose a part of what made it so memorable in the first place. That being said, not everything about the transition to Unreal Engine 5 is smooth. Performance can be wildly inconsistent, especially in dense areas like cities or big open spaces. Frame drops, texture pop-ins, and long loading times are unfortunately part of the package right now. Optimization feels rough. Almost like the game is trying to juggle its gorgeous new visuals while still dragging along the limitations of the old Oblivion engine underneath. And you might be thinking, dude, just lower your settings, why would it run good with everything on Ultra? And to counter that, I know. But I'm running this game on a 5090 paired with a Ryzen 9 9950 X3D with 64 gigs of DDR5 RAM through PCIe 5.0 lanes. So yeah, it might not run perfect on Ultra, but it shouldn't run this bad even on that kind of hardware. Not to mention, this is with DLAA enabled and frame generation. I even tried disabling DLAA and DLSS and it could barely hit 60 FPS at 1440p. Hopefully with future patches the developers can iron out these issues, because when the game runs well, it truly looks and feels magical.
These are the closing days of the Third Era and the final hours of my life.
Oblivion's story is classic high fantasy at its finest. You start as a prisoner, because of course you do, it's an Elder Scrolls game, and quickly get swept into a massive conflict to save the world from demonic invasion led by the forces of Oblivion. The main questline takes you from humble beginnings to epic battles, ancient ruins, political conspiracies, and encounters with Daedric princes. It's a grand, sweeping adventure, but honestly, where Oblivion truly shines is in its side quests. Compared to Skyrim, Oblivion's side quests have a level of creativity and depth that often gets overlooked. Each faction, the Dark Brotherhood, the Thieves Guild, the Mages Guild, tells an actual story through its questlines, complete with twists, betrayals, and memorable characters. Even the smaller, standalone quests feel like little handcrafted adventures instead of simple fetch this, kill that tasks. Where Skyrim sometimes streamlined and simplified quest design, Oblivion embraced complexity. You never really knew what you were getting into in this game. A simple delivery could turn into a murder mystery, and a casual favor could spiral into a multi-stage political drama. It's that unpredictability, that handcrafted feeling that makes Oblivion's writing so timeless. I'm not going to sit here and talk about the story of a 20-year-old game for too long. To put it simply, it's great. The quests are well written, and yes, it just works. One very annoying thing about this remaster is that the saves disappear a lot, at least on PC. I've had multiple moments where I exited the game after saving, and when I came back, poof, hours of gameplay gone. Just because, fuck you, that's why. Honestly, this is something that they desperately need to fix, and soon. At times I can't even load any saves at all, the game just refuses it. And every time you exit and come back, it sometimes deletes your most recent saves, which is insanely frustrating.
Oh, no.
It's such a shame, because I'm having so much fun playing, but that constant feeling in the back of my mind, worrying I'll lose all my progress again, it's nerve-wracking. If you're on the fence about jumping in, let me just say this. Oblivion Remastered isn't just a game, it's an experience. It's a chance to step into the world that feels truly alive, where every town hides secrets, every NPC has a story, and every decision you make actually matters. Sure, it's a little rough around the edges, but that's part of the magic. No other game captures that weird, wonderful sense of adventure quite like Oblivion does. If you want a game that surprises you, challenges you, and completely pulls you into its strange, beautiful world, this is it. Give it a shot. you won't regret it. So, in conclusion, the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion Remastered is a love letter to the past. It's not perfect, but neither was the original, and that's exactly what made it so special. If you played it back in the day, this remaster feels like meeting an old friend, older, a little wiser, but still just as weird and wonderful. And if you're new to Oblivion, you're about to experience one of the strangest, most ambitious and the most charming RPGs ever made, now shinier than ever.
By the water recently?
Strange business.
It's you. Steered clear of one.
They say that the
See you.
priests and
Sure.
priestesses of the Chapel of the
Goodbye.
Belly have
To
all
you.
been murdered. No one even knows who did it.